we're still talking about decarbonization, we're still talking about electrification. It's really important to think about sustainable water solutions as we come in to 2024 and well beyond. As we think about decarbonization and electrification, you see me in front of our Uponor Aquaport, and this is really cutting-edge technology to bring better heated water to your domestic water solutions. We also have radiant heating solutions that can really capture electrification and turn that into a sustainable heat source for your home or business.
In 2024 and beyond 2024, what we're seeing right now is the sustainability agenda. Everybody's talking about electrification. How do we reduce energy usage? So, because the grid is not getting any more substantial. We're not building nuclear power plants. There's solar going up everywhere, and it's still not enough. So with that, what we have coming forward in 2024 specifically is our ECM version of hot water recirc. Our old pumps were in the range of 95 watts an hour, where these pumps can run as low as 3 watts an hour. So in a homeowner's life, the contractor can go to them and realize right away the difference in savings. There's going to be a noticeable change. So over the first couple years, even though you're paying more for the pump out of the box, in the short run, 4 or 5 years, your turnaround is going to be paying for that pump. So with that, after that, now the money goes into the homeowner's pocket and it's realized. The products and sustainability go beyond just the recirc pump. Our boosting systems, our commercial systems for larger buildings, our heating systems for residential homes are all going in this direction of energy efficiency. And then beyond that is the education of getting the contractors down at the ground level to understand better so that they can portray it to the homeowners.
So the biggest industry trend that we're seeing in 2024 is the transition to low global warming potential refrigerants. For water source heat pumps, the EPA has mandated that the hard transition date for manufacturers to move to low GWP, global warming potential refrigerants, is January 1st, 2025. So what Climate Master has done is we have chosen R54B as our low GWP refrigerant. Now low GWP is R54B, is classified by AHR as having an A2L rating. A2L rating means a low flammability, low toxicity refrigerant. So with this transition, we now have slightly flammable refrigerants, which is something that contractors and the industry hasn't had to deal with previously for the far majority of water source heat pumps and HVAC industry. So really the biggest thing that Climate Master is doing is being helping lead the transition as introducing the new low GWP refrigerants into the marketplace in Q1 of 2024. So here last week we rolled out our first 4 product lines with the new low GWP refrigerant, our SC, SR, SY, and SC product lines, which are packaged single and 2-stage products available from 2 to 5 tons. We're educating the contractors by letting them know about the requirements in the new safety standard UL 60335 2-44th edition, which simply stated means that products that have 62 ounces of refrigerant or more in the far majority of applications will require a refrigerant detection system to mitigate any kind of refrigerant leak in the unlikely event that you have a refrigerant leak. For Climate Master, a large volume of our products are 4 tons and below, and we're proud to say that due to the inherent design of the water source heat pumps, we use a minimal amount of refrigerant. So anything for us today with the products that we're releasing, 4 tons and below, have below this threshold of 62 ounces of A2L low GWP refrigerant, which means they do not require us to install the refrigerant detection system. We're really excited about the Inflation Reduction Act, and it's incentivizing geothermal applications. Geothermal aligns with electrification, aligns with reducing the overall carbon footprint, aligns with overall energy efficiency, and geothermal is something that we have led and been around and done for a long time, since really our inception from the beginning of our businesses. And so There's always been challenges in the installation of geothermal with the cost or the price of installing the geothermal wells. What the federal government has done with the Inflation Reduction Act is offer heavy tax incentives to reduce that overall first cost of installing geothermal. And I'm very excited to kind of talk about is I was originally a part of the residential single family homes where we traditional put in geothermal applications, and later in my career as I progressed I got more into just a traditional water loop application where you do high-rise buildings in cities like New York City, right? Here this year we have some of the largest, as far as I know, some of the largest projects that are high-rise buildings, multifamily, that are going to be geothermal systems. So we are now successfully installing geothermal projects with our partners. We make the water source heat pumps into the major cities throughout the country, with New York City really leading that way. So that is a phenomenal story to talk about and tell, that we are now doing geothermal in high-rise buildings in New York City. So we're doing so because of the help of the Inflation Reduction Act.
Right now we are seeing a lot of AI coming into the trades, which is really cool because a lot of times it seems like we get left behind on some of those, but we are being very intentional about embracing AI and looking for ways to automate our businesses, increase our efficiencies, find ways to grow more revenue efficiently, and really be able to provide a better, more fulfilling customer experience using AI. So that's a really fun trend that we're seeing. We're also seeing with some of the slowing, the recession, the slow growth that some residential contractors are facing, we're seeing people looking for new ways, new ideas. We're seeing people tightening down on some of their operations, looking for ways to save money. And so really that's where AI comes in to help automate and help them streamline a lot of their workflows. What we've seen with the Inflation Reduction Act, we know that there's a whole lot of money set aside to help us electrify our company and start looking for better ways to heat and cool using electricity versus using gas or other ways that are causing that decarbonization. So we're looking at some of these rebates are really, really great. And not only are there rebates, but there are also tax credits available. And these tax credits will be available every year you own the appliance, up to the next 10 years. So these are really cool. We've seen some business models coming into play where people are offering perhaps a different electrical appliance each year. Perhaps one year they'll do an electrical water heater. Then the next year they'll do an electrical heat pump. And so they're looking at, man, I'm building out my business for the next 3 or 4 years to really help my customers optimize on these rebates and these incentives. So one thing that contractors can do is stay advised. We are great partners at ServiceTitan with Rewiring America. They're a nonprofit organization that will keep you up to date on when these incentives are being rolled out in your state. Because of the IRA, it's now in the state's hands. So the bill's been passed, but now each state has the obligation to put together its program, its processes. So contractors really need to be aware of when it's rolling out in their state and stay educated there.
When we talk about trends, we're looking at efficiencies. So efficiencies can mean a lot of different things, whether that's with the equipment, on the equipment side, or joinery methods, making sure contractors can be more efficient on the job site. Press joinery methods, we talked about that efficiency side of things. So we have Press AHR right here today. So that's newer into the HVAC space, and that's really making sure that contractors can get on and off the jobs quicker. In addition to Press AHR, we have other press technologies out there. Bench press, for example, just launched 53 SKUs the other day, so we're continuing to build out that line to make it more efficient for the contractor.
I'd say the biggest trend we're seeing is everyone's moving towards electrification. If you walk around and talk to any of the hot water heating manufacturers, everyone has a heat pump. We're also seeing a lot of tankless resurgence, lots of people talking about tankless. A lot of it's focused on the residential side. We're doing more of the commercial side. So we're seeing a lot of that. A lot of talk about refrigerants, what people are using for their heat pumps. Yeah, so we're doing it in a couple of ways. We've got our tankless heat pump water heater, which has launched. We are now shipping those products. We have a couple of installs in Washington, D.C. that we're very proud of. We're getting a lot of traction on those. So we're helping in that regard. And I think when it comes to tankless, we're really trying to open up the commercial market to tankless. I think a lot of the residential product is great for residential, but we're really focused on how do we make those larger scale buildings that use a lot more hot water and a lot more energy a lot more efficient.
Yeah, I think the biggest trend we're seeing is just a renewed level of interest, both on the residential and on the commercial side, that's really connected with the decarbonization trends that we're talking about in society, and what are the options if we want to find sources of heat for both comfort conditioning and generating domestic hot water in both residential and commercial applications across the country without combusting fossil fuels. And that's what our company's been committed to we're in our 41st year of making water-to-water and geothermal ground source heat pumps. On the residential side, I would say it's a combination of development and education and developing the skills from a traditional HVAC contractor to having them design what I would say appropriately sized and reliable geothermal HVAC systems. So installing our systems are more complicated than installing a standard unitary air source or dual fuel system. And so we've got to educate our contractors on the best methods and the accepted standard practices associated with how to do that. I would say another big thing we're doing to try to drive adoption, because it's a big decision for consumers to make. There's a 30% tax credit on all residential applications that is from the IRS. Yep, great question. So both on the residential side, we have traditionally done regional sales meetings as well as a whole catalog of technical training that's available both online as well as in person for contractors that want to dedicate a couple days and take a deeper dive on how to properly install and how to properly educate homeowners on why this should be a viable option for them. On the commercial side, it's a broader market, so we're interacting through our sales representatives across the country and in Canada. We're interacting directly with mechanical, electrical, and plumbing design, engineering design firms that actually do the design work for the heating, cooling, and hot water systems inside every commercial building. So we're educating them directly through a series of decarb sessions or decarbonization sessions. And we talk about why is decarbonization a trend? What are the facts behind it based on our view? And we want to be practical conservationists. We want people to make the best choice options they have to strike that balance between investment, operating costs, and reducing their Scope 1 emissions in the facility that they're either owning or operating. And so we feel like it's our obligation to educate the design firms on what options they have available and why geothermal should be considered an option. I think the other thing that's part of that is anybody that's designing something for the first time, if you're not familiar with it, it's a little bit anxious and they have to mitigate their risks. So connecting them with other design firms that have decades of experience on designing geothermal systems is one of the best ways to what I would just call transfer that knowledge and that technical skill to make sure that all the systems that are installed are designed and installed properly.
In the plumbing industry, it's been so great to see the added awareness and the information that's out there. A lot of different companies and products are really seeing that driver from our customers to see and get more out of what we have for solutions. One of the things that we're really excited to announce at AHR, which we launched yesterday, is our new L2. This is another product in our L series portfolio for water and leak detection and protection. That's the key thing I love to say on this aspect of it. This L2 are the next generation in our leak detector portfolio. We've had the L1 out for about a year or so along with our L5. Our L1 is a Wi-Fi water leak detector. It is battery powered. Our L5, it's a whole home shutoff valve. It works independently by itself with its sensing cable or with all of our water leak detectors. What we launched yesterday is our L2. This is the one that's a game changer. This device is hardwired. It's 24 volts. It has 2 dry contacts on it, normally open and normally closed. What does that mean? It means it can turn on or turn off HVAC equipment. This thing that I've heard over and over again that all of our customers or pros are saying that this thing is solving immediately is that this can allow a shop owner to send a maintenance tech versus a diagnostic tech. I thought that was just brilliant because that's what it does. This turns on or off the equipment upon a leak. This is something that can save people time, money, and give them the information that they need to do. Water leak detection, I tell you, it's the next biggest thing out here. This is right here targeted to the HVAC tech, and we're extremely proud to share it out here in the market here today.